Netflix. Netflix is cashing in on the trend to simply stay home. It's a story Nick Thompson is following closely. He's a senior editor at Wired magazine and a Bloomberg contributor. Thank you for joining us. And of course, I'm joined again by Adam and Sheila. Let's talk about this Netflix story. It's been an incredible growth story after the usual growth period for a company. I mean, this is a company that's been around more than 10 years.
In a business that everybody thought was antiquated. They mail DVDs? That sounds so 1985.
And what's the big driver here?
Well, they've done fantastically with technology, getting data on their customers, figuring out what customers want, creating communities. All the things that every company wants to do to take advantage of Web 2.0, but few companies are able to do it as well as Netflix. But the next thing is they've actually figured out streaming. We all know that DVDs are disappearing. Right? We all know that in the future we're going to download them or stream them. So how do you get those DVDs to people? And Netflix has done a great job at that.
And what are the implications for the studios? Because, I mean, when you look at the economics that the studios make off of rentals or digital streaming, we're talking about pennies versus a sell-through of an actual DVD. What are they going to respond with?
The studios have a very tough choice right now. The choice right now for the studios is, do they make their movies available for Netflix streaming, right? If you buy a Roku box or an Xbox or whatever, you get access to some of Netflix's catalog. Netflix would like all of its catalog to be available, but the studios don't want to sell it to them because they're worried then they'll lose money from HBO, they'll lose money from DVD sales. One thing that has recently happened, that sort of a compromise that Netflix made, is they made an agreement with one studio that they wouldn't make their DVDs available for 28 days. And that would allow the studio to sell the DVDs for 28 days before Netflix subscribers started being able to download or rent it.
Now, let me ask you, how far away, I mean, how many weeks, months, years are we from literally being able to download any movie you want anytime? I mean, because it's the servers, right? It's hard to actually get the stuff on.
You can almost do it right now. If you have a Roku box, you have access to Netflix, which has a percentage of their library available for free if you're a Netflix subscriber, and you have access to Amazon, and you can just download movies off of Amazon. So
it's just figuring out the accounting. We have the technology.
We absolutely have the technology, and it's embedded. It's going to be embedded soon right into the TVs. You won't even need a box.
Quickly before we go, outside of the raw argument for Netflix, what's the cautionary point?
Well, if you look at their Q4 earnings, one thing that is cautionary is that their amount of revenue per subscriber is dropping. And that's because they have tiers. You can rent 2 DVDs, 3 DVDs, 4 DVDs a month. All of those customers get access to the streaming. So, for example, I switched my service from 3 DVDs to 2 DVDs because I don't need as many DVDs because I can stream. So the revenue per customer has dropped the last couple of quarters.
All right.
Do you think the sale of the DVD is gone? Do you think people are just going to stop buying DVDs at some point?
I think that's probably going to happen. They're going to buy them through downloads. They're not going to buy the actual physical DVD.
And Netflix finally earning its name, I guess. I don't know what they were.
Right. Well, that's why they didn't call themselves DVD by mail when they started. It was a decision because they knew this was something like this would happen eventually.